Jeremiah 17:9. The human heart is the most deceitful of all things, and desperately wicked. Who really knows how bad it is? I began driving around North Carolina in the rain, looking for sparks. If the sun was out, I was not. I went to the town where hurricane warnings were the most severe, and I was dressed as a woman. My car was just on the other side of the white line of a lonely road. My car's hood was raised, and when I saw headlights coming, I began waving an unplugged blow dryer over the engine bits, hoping to tempt Mr. Sparks into a white knight gambit. A car did pull up behind mine. The next thing I heard was,
"Drop the blow dryer and put your hands on your head."
I was put in the back of the car.
"I'm tired of warning you. This time I'm bringing you back to the station for questioning."
In the interrogation room, I just came out with the truth.
I admit I too would like to track down the same man. My second and third wife left because they didn't want to be stuck in a relationship that had no more sparks. Excuse me.
He got a call and left the interrogation room. He brought me into his office to show me news that the hurricane was changing course and going to make landfall on the town just further south of us. It hit me. Check Sparks' Twitter. There it was. The author just announced a book signing at that town's local bookshop.
In this weather?
Would it be any other? When we got to the bookstore, guns out, ready to shoot anything that moved, we found Mr. Sparks sitting still like he was waiting for us. He didn't think it was odd we had our weapons drawn. We arrested Nicholas Sparks and took him in the back of the bookshop for questioning. Let me guess. Your wives were reading my books, and the next thing you know, you got a Dear John letter. They were dating someone who made them feel vibrant again. Their new relationship was like straight out of my novel, and you think I put these ideas in her head like from the movie Inception, and you want revenge.
The Bible says a man will forgive another man for property theft, but not for tempting his wife into adultery.
Before you execute me, can I ask you something?
Yes, but I'm not an emotional sucker. I just look for the facts.
Which of my stories have you read?
Dear John?
What's your recollection of that?
There's a reformed bad boy.
Goes without saying.
Anyway, this particular reformed bad boy is named John. He's in the Army, and while on short leave, he meets Savannah, who is volunteering with Habitat for Humanity. She's got a purity, he's got an edge. Obviously, they fall in love in a couple of weeks. They then spend a couple of years writing letters, while he's in the Army and she's pursuing her education to help kids with special needs. The few times they do see each other, he wants to be alone with her, and she wants to introduce him to all the people she's growing with while he's away. They want to get married, but she also says the time apart is too hard for her and falls for the shoulder she's crying on while he's gone. She breaks up with him in a letter. After John's dad dies, who Savannah pointed out had special needs, John goes looking for Savannah, who married the shoulder she cried on. But now, after being reunited with John for a few hours and having to briefly walk in a storm, she wants to cheat on the shoulder with John.
In your mind, are you the shoulder or John?
That's not why I'm upset. I'm upset because you make Savannah to be the so pure woman. She builds houses for the needy. She helps kids with special needs ride horses. And if cheating is okay with her, if even the most virtuous woman does it...
After a couple hours, that's it? Did I make it too obvious that she's a totally selfish person?
She helps with kids on the spectrum and works with animals, even cleans up after them.
On the surface, she was willing to cheat on her dying husband with seeing John after a few hours.
Well, it was raining.
Put that to the side. What do you think about her ending things with John? Why he's sacrificing his life at war to be with the shoulder?
Even John in the book goes, he kind of understood when the steam settled. Savannah knew the shoulder since they were kids. They were working the same occupation. He knew how to navigate with her academic friends, where John wasn't that sophisticated and would just be a lump on a log in those environments. John admits the shoulder was a better man than him. If my wife left me for someone like the shoulder, who was, say, helping get water to dying kids in Africa, I wouldn't be thrilled, but I'd be like, okay, the better man won out. Not like the bartender she left me for, who serves people alcohol, who then I pull over for DUIs, or find them dead smashed into a tree.
What about you? You've been quiet. What are you thinking?
Can't you use your skills to write about how women realizing the grass isn't always greener and that they'll regret becoming a betrayer?
I'm always hinting that following the Bible is the way to go. Why do you think I hold book signings in a storm?
Because the women will think they're stepping into one of your books?
No, because only people who are willing to face the storm will come and learn the harder truths. The lazy people who think they're the Savannahs and can just do whatever they feel like it, regardless of who it affects, are not going to come out in weather like this. On the surface, Savannah does good acts, but she also does whatever she wants regardless of who gets hurt. And she loses John and has to settle with the shoulder. The shoulder gets to marry Savannah, but even the shoulder admits to John, Savannah never wanted me the primal way she looked at you. Yeah, I was the more convenient choice when you were gone, but she sees you in one storm and I'm dying, but she was ready to cheat on me right there and then. It took me a long time to sneak her away from you. Do you really think Savannah will stay faithful to the shoulder?
No, but that doesn't help my case to know women are just cheaters.
Just because Savannah is doesn't mean they are all like that. You want a faithful wife, right? You don't need all women to be faithful to find one.
I just wanted one of my wives to not leave because I was not as romantic as your books.
You're still not getting it. The reason they give is not necessarily the true one.
You mean the spouses who leave, like a Savannah, would give some excuse to leave, and the reason they leave isn't because X, Y, or Z, just that they're a selfish individual?
But Savannah was just so friendly and so southern hospitality. I don't see that as selfish.
How friendly do you want the person watching your treasure to be?
I like them to be nice to me and not as rude as some of the new bank tellers are today.
Say what you treasure most is your kids. Do you want someone watching your children to be so friendly they're inviting strangers in your home while you're gone and your kids are there?
No, but I do expect my babysitter to be friendly to my children.
How do I put this? Don't seek friendliness, seek a fortress. The Bible says your heart and treasure are linked. In a relationship where your heart will be open and vulnerable, you don't want to place that with someone who you find to be too friendly, easy come, easy go, but look for a fortress where it'll be safe.
What does a woman who is a fortress look like? I'm picturing a heavy set, basically a strong man.
Not quite.
I'm a little distracted. Something that's bothering me, I'm a cop. I see bad people. Savannah and the shoulder are still not that bad. I couldn't arrest them for what they did.
In comparison to others, they're not that bad. But what does that say about humans in general?
That we have impossible standards and should lower them so people like Savannah and the shoulder are celebrated for helping special needs children and aren't called selfish by a self-righteous...
How many people, though, are as good as the fictional Savannah or the shoulder? Officer, you said your third wife left you for a bartender. I didn't trust a lot of people before my wife left, and now that number's even less. I think that human nature is what the Bible says, corrupt. If they weren't that, then you would need another profession.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm hesitant because I grew up and Southern hospitality was so pushed on me as the ideal wife, and if there's no Savannahs, then I'm told that there's no dream woman. I mean, should I date a man? That seems to be what you're implying about fortresses, and it's just us three guys all agreeing on the terms and conditions.
Take Homer's Odyssey. Who would you rather have as a spouse, Odysseus or Penelope?
I don't really recall that story, but I'm thinking at this point you want me to say the man?
Odysseus, the man, is lost traveling home, and he has all these flings, while his wife, Penelope, is at their home and stops all these guys making advancements towards her.
That's great, but that's thousands of years old. How do I tell a woman to be my fortress and tell her she can't go around and mingle at all the socials, and when I'm at work to do the stuff from thousands of years ago and not to do the things that all the women today get to do?
She gets what she bargains for. If she wants a normal guy who doesn't care if his treasure is secure, then that's what she'll be left with. If she wants a husband who protects his treasure, then being a fortress is the price of admission.